There's no such thing as a leads problem. There's no such thing as a traffic problem. What you have is a messaging issue. Creating new noise as a marketer is always more costly to time and money than it is to just aligning with existing attention. A marketer is obsessed with messaging. They're message creators, and there's specific types of stories that they tell to get people to say, huh? Like, tell me more? All messengers are doing, or marketers, is they're creating hooks, and I'm gonna go drop that hook inside the river, and I'm gonna wait for the fish to come to me. The way you win marketing and the way you get traffic to stuff is you have to be able to create the type of messaging where I wake up and I've been sought, where people are reaching out to me and saying, how can I work with you? Most internet entrepreneurs today believe they have a traffic problem, and I'm here to tell you that's not true. In fact, I'd like to punch you in the face that believes that. In this video, I'm actually gonna break down why what you actually have is a messaging issue. I'm actually writing a book with Russell Brunson all about this because it's such a widespread issue that everyone's dealing with right now. And I'm going to show you a sneak peek, a part of that no one's actually seen before. Let's show you in the video. Yeah, the biggest misconception people have when it comes to traffic is it's always the mentality that they have to go get traffic. The funny thing is you don't have to go get it. You have to stand in front of it. Traffic is already there. So just the verbiage, the way people think about it in general, they're like, I have to stand up and go get traffic. What you have to do is you have to learn how to siphon traffic. So there's like these big rivers. That's how I think about it. Like YouTube is a massive river. It's got 2 billion searches a month. Sometimes what will happen is people go grab like a shovel and they're like, I've finished my project. Let me start digging me a river. And they just start digging traffic. And it's like from scratch, when actually it's better to just go, hey, I'm going to go get traffic. That means I have to stand in front of it rather than create new streams. That's what takes forever. And that's one of the major reasons projects fail, is because they don't think about traffic correctly. An entrepreneur's job is to create something from scratch. They create something that never existed before, something unique, something's new and wow, it's incredible, new. That's super the vibe of an entrepreneur, but it's totally different than the vibe of a marketer. A marketer is meant to just get attention. And you got two options as a marketer. You can either align with existing attention or you can create new attention, right? So it's kind of like if I was to go stand on the street corner right now and just start yelling, hey! Right? Like, noise is the predecessor to attention. So I could go out and I could get attention pretty easily just by screaming, but that doesn't mean it's the right attention. And I also could be screaming for like 3 days before someone's like, what are you doing? Creating new noise as a marketer is always more costly to time and money than it is to just aligning with existing attention. And so I don't need to go get traffic. I have to learn how to stand in front of traffic. The next question then is like, well, how do I do that then? And I think of it kind of like an island. You've created a new blue ocean, if you will. You've created something that's unique, no one's ever seen before. And how do I go get traffic from the traffic that already exists, right? And traffic is what we call red, right? Especially these big red places, meaning red, it's very competitive. There's a lot of people. So how do I get where other people are to where none of the people are? And the way that you do that is with messaging. And so that's primarily what a marketer does. It's not really about what time you post on Facebook. That's the tactic. That's not really marketing. A marketer is obsessed with messaging. They're message creators, and there's specific types of stories that they tell to get people to say, huh? Like, tell me more? And so all messengers or marketers is they're creating hooks. And that's why I think about like a river. They're creating hooks. And I'm going to go drop that hook inside the river, and I'm going to wait for the fish to come to me. Now, this is one of the biggest signs that someone actually knows what they're doing in marketing. Think of the stereotypical marketer. Brand new, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, have no idea what they're really doing, but they want to be a marketer. And as cheesy as this example is, it'll change your entire mindset about marketing. This little tiny example. If I have to wake up and seek leads, I will never exit the marketing role. You will burn out. You're constantly on a hamster wheel. It's where you see these marketers just like dying on the hill. The way you win marketing and the way you get traffic to stuff is you have to be able to create the type of messaging where I wake up and I've been sought, where people are reaching out to me and saying, how can I work with you? Where people are like, what offer do you have? Can you tell me more about what it is that you've created? If I can wake up and be sought while I slept, I'm now winning the role of marketing, and the direction of attention is coming to me. So the only way that we do that is with messaging. They're message creators. That's not your sales message. No one cares about your origin story. Stop telling sales pitches. It's a very specific kind of messaging called hook writing. And we go out and we drop these hooks in the river. And this basically is what starts to create the flow of traffic and siphon traffic to whatever we've created. We might wake up one day and the day-to-day role of a marketer essentially is to wake up, look at the hooks. Oh my gosh, there's a fish on this hook. Let's go close it. Or to go, there's no fish on my hooks. I better go and create a new hook. So you're just waking up and casting a new hook. And I'm waking up and I'm casting a new hook. And sure enough, just like real fishing, the more hooks I have in the water, the more likely I'm about to catch a good fish or lots of fish. So we don't rely on one hook either. It's a new hook, a new hook, a new hook, and they're all leading back towards traffic. That's very impossible to do if you start trying to fish from the blue ocean where nobody actually is. So you solve the whole traffic problem by creating messaging and dropping it into big fat rivers. This is an offer hook that we wrote to get a lot more traffic to one of my clients. He's the marketing agency for the company called OsteoStrong, or at least a lot of the branches. And basically what they do is they help women who have osteoporosis. So super intense, right? It was a lot of pressure for me to write this hook because they're literally helping women who have weak bones. And the scenario is there's this big river where women are taking medications, and after 2 years of taking medications from the doctor, they're actually not stronger. They're actually weaker, and the medications are doing that to them. And so OsteoStrong stood up and said, this is annoying. That's not right. And they created all of these natural ways to strengthen bones, and so that's what they do. So what they did is they said, we want to work with the women who've been taking this medication and bone poison for 2 years. This is the hook that I wrote for them. So when you hear this, I'm not writing copy for a Facebook post. I'm not writing a script for a YouTube video. All I'm trying to do in this hook is identify the story that if I was to go drop it inside of that river, the right customer would go, oh my gosh, I think this person's talking to me. All right. And when we do that, we get the direction of arrows to change. We get people to come to us. And so I can drop hooks in the form of a YouTube video. I could take this and turn it into a Facebook post. It doesn't matter what channel you use. When you have this approach to marketing, all channels work. And I'm just taking the story of the one I'm about to read to you here, and I'm just dispensing it out all over the place. So here was the actual hook. So ask yourself, does this attract the dream customer and repel the nightmare customer? The doctor wants to meet again to share a few options after your latest bone density scan showed that your bones actually got weaker. But why? For months you've gone along with the doctor's orders, taking harder pronounced medications, going on more walks, increasing calcium intake. Back again with the doctor, you're told that things would have been worse if you hadn't been following their prescription, but the advice you get is just to keep doing what you are, and it's the only thing you're left with. As you get back into the car, you notice the biggest fear you have is painfully letting your bones get so weak that you end up living in permanent assisted living, unable to really move or live again. Will slowly deteriorating represent the rest of your life and what you're remembered for? All right, so now here's where the call to action is. It's always the final paragraph of a hook. What simple but hidden unorthodox path could you take in the next 12 months to keep all those medications from slowly poisoning your bones to death and restoring the longevity you once had or known for? And we got bonepoisoning.com. Which is crazy. My client was really scared to go use this because it's aggressive. But my belief is that if you're as good as you say you are, rock the boat, poke the bear. You have a moral obligation to go sell. So go do it. Don't apologize for being a loud marketer. And so what he did is I had him go turn this into a funnel with a little lead magnet, and they deployed this thing. They had like a 55% opt-in rate. And it's these women who were like, oh my gosh, this person's telling my story. I feel heard. I feel understood. I also feel because of that this person probably has the answer for me. We created a little lead magnet, and it's attracting all these women with osteoporosis whose bones have been hurt because of medications. And they're now bringing them into their clinics to strengthen their bones, which is amazing. My client also went off. He decided to debut this lead magnet at like a really big convention, and his competition saw this new hook and literally asked to be acquired. They're like, we don't want to compete with that. And so his business doubled in like 3 months because his competition just folded. They're like, that's too good. So this is one of those examples of what I mean. It's about messaging. I create the hook and I'm going to go drop it into a channel. This isn't their sales message. This is not someone's origin story. This is not someone coming out and saying, here's everything you're going to get inside the offer. That stuff's down the line. And it's why marketers are having a hard time with traffic and leads today. They're saying the wrong messaging. They have a messaging problem. There's no such thing as a leads problem. There's no such thing as a traffic problem. What you have is a messaging issue. If you have low leads or diminishing leads or plateauing leads right now, the reality is you have a messaging issue. You don't have a platform issue. You have a messaging issue. You don't have a traffic issue. There's more traffic right now than when I first started this video. Traffic is increasing at an increasing rate. There's no shortage of traffic. If you're experiencing a shortage of traffic, you're just having a hard time with the messaging to tap into it. You don't have to go be a platform genius. You have to be better at messaging. Internet business owners today are actually, and I believe they're in a messaging crisis. And that's why messaging has gotten so much harder. I'm actually writing a book with this, about all this with Russell Brunson right now, co-authoring it because we've seen this formula do so much for people. But if you don't want to wait for the book to come out, there's actually a link in the description. You guys can like apply to the stuff right now. And let me know also down below, like what kind of traffic issues you're running into so I can actually literally tweak the book as needed for what you guys are looking for and the problems you're running into. Hey, I'm actually going to be putting more videos out like this, multiple a week. And I want to get to know you guys more. So go ahead and hit subscribe down below as well as that little bell. well. And then let me know what kind of things you're running into down below. I do read the comments and I do like to hear what it is you guys are running into so that I can help. I love this. My whole goal is to build a community of those of you who are a little more engineer minded like myself and want to get into the details. You're in the right spot.